most of the population on this planet is into the mood of consumerism. We are all moving into, and this is why I try to live a life with as little consumerism as possible. I have one pair of shoes, for example. I don't need 2 or 3. Actually, I have a second one for mountain climbing. So it's not completely right. And I do not throw food away. 45% of food is being thrown away. And it pains me because as a child after the war, my brother and I and my mother, we were very hungry. We were really hungry for about 1-2 years. And I know what it means to be hungry. So, and this consumerism is something, it's not the entire world. When you look at the Amish, for example, they still live life without technology or with very little technology, low impact technology, and they have homestead farms. And they have a very, very clear understanding how to behave as human beings. So in the long term, they have a long-term better survival than we have.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
It's almost unfair to ask this, but are you optimistic or pessimistic about the direction, the future, given the forced uniformity, the increased population, the internet? Of course, you made a movie about the ethereal aspects of the internet, which I was going to talk about maybe later. But its influence on the social behavior of individuals.
Yes, it's inevitable, and straightforward individualism is a more rare phenomenon. And yes, you can, for example, go back into homestead farming, but then how do you feed 8 billion people, 8,000 million people?
Yeah.
And I remember on the set of Salt and Fire, we had these arguments with Peter Zeitlinger, who lives a very green life. He has a little homestead at home in northern Italy, and he said, we should all have little farm plots on the roofs of skyscrapers. And I said, fine, try that with New York City.
Yeah.
Yes, you can have beans and tomatoes up there, but how do you feed 8 million inhabitants of Manhattan Island? You have to go hunting and gathering, and for that you have Central Park. And you have 8 million people who do not know how to shoot a bow and arrow, and you have maybe 400 squirrels as prey. So show it to me. Go out and show it to me.
Exactly. The blissful romance of nature in that sense is not realistic. If we want, in fact, it discourages some people to realize that. I told you I just wrote a book about climate change. That the way to potentially deal with this is not to go back to homestead farming, which takes more land, but for better or worse, large-scale farming and technology has allowed people to do more with less, and
and we can do it. There's lots of improvement, but the very basic problems remain, and they're hard to tackle. One is overpopulation. China has tried it with a one-child policy, and it will have long-term effects in the next generation.
Sure.
Just wait for that. Second is consumerism. And almost every single civilized society on this planet is wildly into consumerism. And that's where we can do a lot of changes. But it will lower our standard of living. It inevitably will lower the standard of living.
Well, it will change it. It's an interesting question of when you say lower, it means you consume less, you spend, you have fewer things, but it's not necessarily. I think lower is kind of an emotional.
Because it's considered a high standard if we have a lot to waste and consume, and having 200 shirts in our closet. And so we can reduce it, but it will have severe consequences on economy.
Yes.
We will have a reduced economy and more unemployment. And it's not just an attitude that we can adopt easily.